We're counting down our top 10 Canadians of the year.
Who's killing it?
This is the Etalk Power List 2022. And I'm Tyrone Edwards. This show is all about the stars who broke records, broke barriers, and broke through a crowded year of talent to land a spot in our top 10. So let's get into it. Kicking things off at number 10.
It's like always Canadian.
Look at us now.
Look at us now.
This year, Ryan returned from a 4-year hiatus with The Gray Man.
Leading up to the release, we heard that this is the most expensive movie that Netflix has ever made.
A $200 million budget, the Russo brothers directing, and Ryan taking his first kick at an action flick.
Always wanted to make an action movie my whole life. I've done films that have action in them, you know, but never a full-blown action movie. Kind of reminded me of like the 80s and 90s action films I grew up watching.
Aw, man. Hey, sunshine.
Reportedly, it's one of the most streamed titles of the year. Everybody has seen it.
I mean, we always knew Ryan was this hunky guy and small-town boy, but he's also grown into this, like, action hero. I think he's been bit with the action bug, and he's ready to go.
There's like a sense of humor about it, and it's heightened, and it's like escapist, and I thought he was cool because he's sort of, you know, he's like a spy who doesn't want to be a spy.
But sightings of him shooting next year's Barbie movie also ruled 2022.
These pictures are wild. They are in spandex. It's Ryan and Margot Robbie, Ken and Barbie. The Gray Man and the Barbie hype created so much synergy around Ryan Gosling this summer. That was the wave that he's been riding in 2022 that put him on the power list.
And after The Gray Man debuted as the top movie in 92 countries, a sequel with Ryan is already in the works. But let's continue our countdown with a star who released 4 shows this year, landing them at number 9.
You haven't watched One Queen, 5 Queers? Girl, you need to watch it!
The Queen of the North's reign continues.
2022 has been the year of Brooklyn Hytes. She made numerous appearances on Secret Celebrity Drag Race, new season of One Queen, 5 Queers.
Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the world.
What makes the top queen? Well, the obvious charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. But I'm just looking for star quality, plain and simple.
I'm a self-made queen.
All that in between performing on tour around the world.
Every time I'm on the panel, I'm to Brooklyn's right. At least 3 times during filming, Brooklyn catches me like this. She's so beautiful. Every look is phenomenal. She hits every mark 10 minutes early for everything. I can see her, you know, as Boy Brooke, and then 5 minutes later, I see Brooklyn Hytes in drag. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm still trying to put on my fishnets, you know, and Brooke's already on the runway.
Welcome to the main stage of Canada's Drag Race.
Best part of being a judge is not having to compete. The best part of being a judge is getting to like pass on what I've learned as a competitor. I mean, I'm the only person on the judges panel that understands exactly what they're going through.
But what I love most about everything that's happening for Brooklyn Hytes is the fact that she is just this pioneer for the LGBTQ plus community right now, right? There's so much color that she's bringing to it. There's so much awareness she's bringing to it. And the celebratory moment for that community, that's what she's driving. And it's Canadian.
And Crave's already confirmed a 4th season of Canada's Drag Race is on its way. Okay, on to number 8 on our countdown, which goes to a star breaking barriers for women behind the camera.
I just felt like I was making a movie with my besties, which is amazing.
Domee Shi is Pixar's Canadian queen.
Domee Shi's been making history. When Bao came out, I was like, come on now. Oscar's in your future. I'm not gonna take credit for her winning the Oscar, but she won the Oscar.
This year, she's in the Oscar conversation once again with Turning Red.
To be the first woman to solo direct a Pixar film, not to mention this was her feature directorial debut. You know, you do a little of this. That's huge. It's a huge accomplishment. I mean, Pixar is iconic.
I'm Maylin Lee. I wear what I want, say what I want, 24/7, 365.
It's also the first Pixar film set in Canada.
You go get yours, Domee Shi. Turning Red is one of the most beloved movies of the year for women. She really spoke to us about teen anxiety as a girl. It was an allegory for your period, about that time in your life when your body is just a stranger.
My hope is that their takeaway is to embrace the messiness of life, of growing up. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be big and hairy and loud and messy.
As a Chinese Canadian woman, to see that Domee Shi was telling her story and had like a Disney budget, a Disney Pixar budget to do it, a woman from a younger generation is just going out there and getting it. She made me feel seen.
Canada is rooting for Domee to make it all the way to the Oscars once again. Next, a pair of brothers building a legacy in front of and behind the camera, cementing their spot at number 7.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I almost can't believe it. Exactly what my brother said, 10x.
Stephan and Shamier's acting careers could be enough to land them on the Power List.
You know, Stephan's working with Julia Roberts. He is at the top of the list for casting, and Shamier is running around doing movies like John Wick movies. So we're not dealing with two small-time people.
But this year, they created the Legacy Awards, honoring the achievements of Black Canadians.
See in the media Black trauma, it's important to know that we are doing incredible and great things and achieving levels of success that we just don't talk about and that we should be talking about.
So this is about creating opportunity for folks that look like us, helping to breed inspiration for the next generation, continuously give people who look like us their flowers.
As somebody whose only career has been in Canadian media, when I was starting out, there was a handful of Black reporters or VJs. So to see them come back and really honor the plethora now of Black performers and reporters and influencers, you know, it really was a beautiful and a special evening.
We got 90 minutes, that's all right? So don't worry though, we'll be back because guess what? We got a 3-year deal, baby.
All this while Stephan starred in the psychological thriller series Surface, and Shamier brought Bruiser to TIFF.
We get reminded every day the country's been so good to us, the business has been so good to us. Shout out all the individuals that are here tonight. It's so surreal. I grew up watching all these folks. So to have them on this carpet, on this show, I mean, the Scarborough with me is going, wow.
And that was year 1. What's it gonna look like in year 5?
So early in their careers, and they're already making power moves. It's time to reveal number 6 on our list.
I'm so excited, I'm so proud, I'm so happy.
Maitreyi's star continues to rise.
Love my girl! This year for her has been phenomenal.
Brown girl to brown girl, I'm already biased, but I don't even need to be because she's fire. She is also an amazing representation of how great talent can come out of Canada.
In March, she lends her voice to the critical darling Turning Red.
Let's go. Her first film voicing role, I mean, hello, Pixar movie. This is a huge deal.
I didn't predict any of this happening to me. So to any aspiring actor, I would just say, don't compare yourself to others. If you believe in yourself first, that's what matters the most. Believe in your own worth.
I'm all about working hard. I mean, you gotta in this business.
And at this year's CSAs, she's presented with the Radius Award.
Thank you so much. I'm like, wait, this award is for making like waves globally, like making an impact around the world. I was like, do I do that? I do that? Yeah, okay. So like the award really made me realize, hey, maybe this is a sign you should live in the moment, because I do struggle to, you know, feel really proud of myself and like actually like give a genuine pat on the back.
Then this summer,
another season of Never Have I Ever, which I feel like the whole world is obsessed with.
Other people can relate to this character that I relate to, so I guess we're all sort of messy and complicated.
And Maitreyi's already at work on the 4th and final season of Never Have I Ever. Look out for that next year. All right, next on our countdown, we've got a perennial fave at number 5.
Whether it's for a few seconds, a few hours, or a few days, movies can dominate the cultural zeitgeist.
In 2022, Ryan dominated the zeitgeist once again.
You know, one of my favorite things about Ryan Reynolds is you always know what you're gonna get with him. He's never faking it, he's never too cool for school. He likes to take a big piece of humble pie and he's straight up about it. If Canada had a mascot, Ryan Reynolds would be the mascot.
Early in the year, he's set streaming records with family-friendly sci-fi flick, The Atom Project.
I love a good feel-good movie. Thank you for that. It made my heart happy, but it got me thinking, what would the Ryan Project be about?
Oh my God, like if it would just could be the most indulgent thing in the whole wide world? Oh man, I would say 8.5 hours sleep. That would be the Ryan Project.
He was also honored with an American Cinematheque Award and the People's Choice Icon Award.
My career has taken incredible and wonderful turns because I get to work with some of the most talented people on the planet every single day.
And now it's the holiday season. He's giving us all a gift, teaming up with Will Ferrell in Spirited.
I messed up in the middle there.
Yeah, tap is new for me. It's a very expressive medium.
But let's not forget, when the cameras aren't rolling, this man is building an empire, whether it's with his production company or, like, I don't know, buying the Ottawa Senators.
While the NHL ownership is still TBC, we can confirm Ryan found time to give back.
Another big thing that Ryan and his wife, Blake Lively, did this year is donate $500,000 to support clean water in Indigenous communities. This is what I want in a celebrity couple.
From the business to the movies to philanthropy, you gotta love Ryan. Okay, we've reached the top 4 on our countdown of the top 10 Canadians of 2022, and this next star, well, he rode a Marvel wave into a very, very busy year.
Every time I manifest something in the universe, it's like the crazy energy of the world finds a way to make it happen.
In 2022, Simu Liu was everywhere, from hosting the Junos to presenting at the Oscars.
I want to see everyone, right? I want to know what the goss is, who's killing it today.
People were geeking out when he walked on that carpet. Like, stars were geeking out to meet him.
When I think about the 2022 that Simu Liu has had, I feel tired. I don't know how he's done it all. The Time 100, he's made 2 or 3 movies, released a book. He stood in for Jimmy Kimmel. I'm missing like 8 things.
Well, there was also a cover for Vanity Fair's Hollywood issue, Celebrity Jeopardy, and Family Feud, and don't forget a sizzling cameo in Rihanna's fashion show.
What is so great and exciting about all the things that Simu is doing is he's not boxed into this Marvel, Shang-Chi superhero category.
It really didn't feel like all that long ago when I was auditioning for, Desktop number 3.
He also found time to come home and host the Chinese-Canadian Youth Athletic Association Celebrity Classic.
The idea of guarding Jeremy is not something that I've ever wanted to do ever in my life.
He used his name to sell tickets, but he also went through his contact list.
I think he probably got a lot of sleep a few years ago, but now Simu's on like another level.
And one of those movies Simu shot this year, Barbie. Look forward to his version of Ken in 2023. Next, number 3 on our countdown goes to an actress who took on a huge new role.
It felt risky, and it felt like it was gonna piss people off.
This year, Tatiana entered the MCU.
What's so fun about this show is that it's so incredibly unexpected. When I read these episodes, I couldn't predict ever where it was going.
We're kind of used to seeing her in, more serious, dramatic roles. This year, she is shaking it up and impressing all of us along the way in She-Hulk.
That was one of the scariest parts of going into She-Hulk, was doing comedy, because it was something I loved so much, but had never had the chance to do.
No overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
I can't tell you, we binged it. Probably my first show that I binged with my daughter, and she thought I was the coolest mom because I was like, you want to watch another one?
That to me is, it's like a really great reminder of why you do jobs like this, where you get to connect with kids.
And she continues to advocate for the LGBTQ+ community.
Now she's got an even bigger platform because of She-Hulk, and she's using that platform in such an intentional way, like when she was wearing that t-shirt advocating for trans rights.
Don't miss Marvel Studios' She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
She knows that eyeballs are on her, and that's how she uses her platform. Like, anyone who does that, mad respect.
But her year didn't stop with She-Hulk.
As if 2022 wasn't already such a huge year for her, she then gets inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame. Okay, Tatiana.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We've arrived at the #2 spot on our countdown, and it belongs to a very familiar face.
It's just fulfilling, it's moving. It makes me feel real happy.
Brendan is back.
There are few people who've had as big of a comeback story in 2022.
One of the big reasons that Brendan Fraser disappeared is that he accused the then head of the Hollywood Foreign Press, the people that bring us the Golden Globes, of sexual harassment.
Many people think he was blacklisted. He didn't work for a long time. At least he wasn't working in high-profile movies, not like how we knew him from before, you know, with The Mummy and Encino Man.
But this year, he reemerged with The Whale, a heartbreaking story of a recluse attempting to reconnect with his estranged daughter.
Walked in expecting a good story, walked out like, why the heck do I feel like this? And then I couldn't shake it.
They gave me an understanding and an empathy that I wasn't anticipating. I think it opened my heart.
And it's not just the audience, it seemed like the industry was like, Brandon, you're one of us, we miss you, welcome back.
The fact that he's been vindicated this way with this incredible performance and the way that he's receiving the praise.
Very excited and welcomed and a bit emotional, and I'm grateful for everyone turning out tonight.
His emotional TIFF homecoming included a tribute award win, and in December, he received a Golden Globe nomination. He's made it clear he won't be attending the ceremony because of his history with the organization, but fingers crossed, we'll see him at the Oscars.
He is at a point in his life where he's ready to open up and say, yeah, I'm good, and yes, I'm ready to accept this. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
The Whale ruined me. If you want to cry, watch The Whale. Before we reveal who's taking the #1 spot, we've got a few stars deserving of an honorable mention.
Can we please throw Seth Rogen on the list? Emmy nominated for his role in Pam and Tommy, not to mention he was an executive producer on that.
Tegan and Sarah. New album came out, and High School, the scripted series based on their own memoir.
Sandra Oh, final season of Killing Eve. Then she was, of course, in Turning Red as well, which she killed it as the mom.
You just can't help but stop and take a moment to breathe in Buffy St. Marie. This documentary, it is such an intimate portrayal of her life.
Avril Lavigne, I mean, she just got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's celebrating 20 years of her debut album. She was at the Junos. She's doing a massive tour.
Huge shout out to Adrian Holmes. To see him playing Uncle Phil in the revamped version of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
And how about Julie Black? New album, she performed at OVO Fest and The Amazing Race Canada.
Okay, time to reveal who landed the #1 spot on our countdown. Topping the Power List for 2022, our Canadian Entertainer of the Year is Iman Vellani.
Yeah, it's big. It's gonna hit me one day and I'm gonna explode. Cause this is my life.
In 2022, Iman becomes Ms. Marvel for one of the MCU's biggest TV series of the year.
It literally feels like we shot the show yesterday and now it's a public thing. Like it's so surreal, and I've used that word to the point where it's lost all meaning, but that's the only way I could describe it.
This was her first gig ever. How about starting off on the highest note? Where do you go from there?
That's right, her first acting gig right out of high school. Iman was forwarded the casting call in a family WhatsApp group, and the rest is history.
You've done amazing work, and we'd be honored if you would play Kamala Khan for us in the Miss Marvel show. And it was a unanimous decision.
Oh my God. It's on my phone right now. I can't comprehend this right now.
I mean, talk about 0 to 100 in a single year. And I think the best thing about Iman is that she was a genuine fan.
I grew up loving the MCU, obviously, and then I ran into Iron Heart. Mala was on the cover of that one, and the fact that this comic book was holding up a mirror in front of me was just absolutely nuts. You know, she was Pakistani and she was Muslim and a superhero fanatic. I was a Pakistani Muslim superhero fanatic. I'm a superhero.
98% rating by Rotten Tomatoes out of all MCUs. This is rated the highest.
Not even imposter syndrome. It's just so hard to be like, yeah, you're here. Markham to Marvel. That's my slogan.
I personally feel like it's Markham to Marvel and beyond. Sky's the limit.
Next, she'll star alongside Brie Larson in The Marvels, and she's rumored to appear in Avengers, The Kang Dynasty. The Marvels is scheduled for release in July, and we can't wait to see Iman on the big screen. And shout out to all the stars on our Power List for doing big things in 2022, and cheers to an even bigger 2023.